how that Taylor side
that side
connected
got into it, because when I married John, they said somehow it's linked. Because I came back here in 2009 and I started the Ancestry and stuff. But Debbie Bowman, we've never been able to
get back to the back
to go back to link all that, because Mom and Dad, they
well,
came
when
down.
I grew up, I knew Abraham Lincoln Taylor from him, and I knew the story of how they came to Mount Airy, and I knew about their great grandfather and all the Taylor men that bought all that land, and all the boys lived here. So I knew all of that, and they moved to Chicago.
Right, all that moved to Chicago, but when I came back and tried to link, because I knew all that, and when I tried to link it to even with Lucy, she said, I don't know how that side of the Taylor, we never figure out how they linked.
But that's what Esther was
saying.
I'm not going to worry about it that I'm married to whatever, because his Taylor family, from down in Westfield.
Westfield Park.
Yes,
I remember her saying that.
Yeah.
She says another group passed Powder Mountain, right?
Yes.
Wow.
She said, and she couldn't link that. And then I have friends that are Taylors from North Carolina, because I think that Taylor name is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Can you tell that story about the Taylors? And you said you knew the story about the Taylors with the brothers owning the property in the West Virginia.
Yeah, so story that I was told was...
Man, you should have been awake, man.
Yeah, we did all this the last 3 hours.
So originally, Abraham Lincoln Taylor and all his sons, they were in Beckley, West Virginia. They were coal miners.
Okay.
Right?
How many sons are we talking about, possibly?
I don't know, but I know what is it?
It's 10 of them.
It's Andrew, Wayman, Layman, Paney, Sherman,
John here?
No. No John.
It's 11 of them, because that's what it says across there.
I ain't
It's
seen
11.
a John. Is a John? I never heard about a John.
Me either. See, I didn't look at the top thing.
No, I just tell you what I know.
Okay, but if we're done with the brothers, you're going to finish. Look, she's going to let her finish the story first. Okay. I'm videotaping.
So
she's got
over all the years that I was married to him and whatever, Debbie, we never could link that side of the Taylor
to this side.
Right.
We knew
because
this side.
it went supposedly back.
And I think that goes back to the twin, Andrew Jackson Taylor.
Right.
He lost touch with his brother.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln and his brother lost touch. So we never knew where they were, what happened. We never knew about his siblings or anything. And I think that ties into when they had that death certificate and Grandma Tempe Taylor said unknown or something about his mother's name. Remember that? Because they didn't have no contact with none of his family. When he left Beckley, it was just him here in Mount Airy.
Wow.
Well, see, this is opening up a picture that I've been trying to
put together.
And he was a temp child, so that means his parents had kids older than him, and they could have been older in age. And when you look at the grave, they died in what, 1940?
Yeah. 42.
42, right?
It's been a long time.
That's been a long time.
Yeah, because I was born in 45.
And remember, y'all also got to factor in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to the story about them living in the coal mines, they were very well off living in the coal mines. They made money. And so Abraham Lincoln Taylor, Grandpa, he said to all his sons, while the going is good and we're making money, we got to put money aside. And he said he found some land in Mount Airy, and he went and bought all that land. He said, what we need to do is we need to all build us a house. Every son build them a house. So they built their houses all on that land. Every son had a house built, but they continued to work the coal mines. While they worked the coal mines, Grandma Tempe Taylor, she had a boarding house. And all the colored people would stay there when they worked the mines, and she would house them and feed them. And they had a boarding house in Beckley. The Depression hit, things went down, and they came here to live in that house. But the houses was vacant for a few years. They came to live here. They lived here. Then I guess the brothers decided, with that great migration to The north. The brother was like, ain't nothing here. They don't want to live like this. They got together. They tried to. This is a story I was told. They talked to my grandfather to say, we got to get with our dad and tell our dad that we all leaving, and then he come with us. My grandfather didn't go along with the plan. And so my grandfather said he wasn't leaving. So Abraham Lincoln told our great grandfather, he said he gonna stay. Aunt Cora stayed. Aunt Bertha stayed.
I remember them.
Grandma Tempe, Grandpa Teller, you know, they're older. And my grandfather stayed with his 9 living children.
And what's your grandfather's name?
James Henry Taylor,
James?
married to Hester Clark Taylor.
Wow.
They stayed, and all the brothers left with their families. And Uncle Paney begged my grandfather to leave Mount Airy. He told my grandfather that he had, from what my grandfather was saying, he said it was like an apartment building.
It's a big house.
It was a big house, and he told him, James.
Is my phone on? Because I have a
He
picture
told
of
my
the house.
grandfather. My grandfather said, and my grandmother, and Uncle Andrew stayed. Uncle Andrew and Aunt Nora stayed here. Nora Taylor. And Uncle Andrew stayed. That was another brother. That's the only brother. Those two brothers stayed, and they helped raise them 9 children. Because remember, Aunt Nora and Aunt Hester, they were sisters.
Well, see,
And
when,
so
when I came
they
here,
stayed, but all of the other brothers left to Chicago and did well. They came back for the summer to visit. Right over the years, they came back, especially when Grandpa Taylor was living. And sometimes they brought their children, which would have been your grandparents, here for the summer to spend summers down here with my mother and her siblings. And so that's how that worked. Now, I believe my grandfather regretted he never went to Chicago, because when his children got going, he told them they were going to be prepared to leave Mount Airy and don't ever come back.
Because they nothing here.
All of my mother's brothers and sisters left Mount Airy. The only one that came back is Aunt Angel Lee, but that's after they was living in Detroit, and they came here after retirement. Aunt Lucy came back to care for my grandmother, but she lived up in Pennsylvania and Jersey. She moved back
Lucy
from my...
is my heart. I mean, Lucy is, when I moved back here,
She moved back to
she
care
was
for my
already
grandmother.
doing
The history.
history. But I'd already been connected, because I was traveling from Philadelphia and Maryland and stuff, and going up because Daddy and your father, Odell, was already, we were in a, you know,
because
as
Odell,
before we even did Dorothy was Aunt Cora's daughter.
And
I remember the Cora, and see, Lucy, well,
Dorothy,
even at that time,
Odell,
Lucy was
Estelle,
sort of,
all of them lived in
and she went-
Chicago.
because I have a
They would come
I
down
have a
to visit.
cousin Claudette Bowman. They were
Wait a minute.
That's
and Robert Taylor.
No, this is what I'm telling
That's
you.
what I told you.
That's who I
That's-
was with yesterday. I was with Claude Bowman's son, Lindsay's daughter, Sabrina, and Gary.
They were
They
yesterday.
were trying to find out how. I
We
told
never
them.
knew. I'm telling you.
She said that y'all related. Sabrina said y'all related because Aunt Mally and Aunt Minnie, Aunt Virginia,
Aunt Minnie.
Ain't Minnie. There was Aunt Virginia is Leroy's wife.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's through marriage.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it right
and see,
there.
When I came back,
See,
when I
I'm telling you.
I
said, Claudette, I gotta call them.
Evelyn,
Moment.
But I called Aunt
when
Claudette just now because I
Evelyn
said she would
Scales
know.
started doing the dice and stuff. That I came back here in 2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evelyn
And I
did the
got
Surrey
hooked up
County
with
book.
Ancestry. And Debbie, who's married to Leroy's son, Roy, his name is Roy. We tried our best to try to figure out. And then I ended up, I had been married to John, but when they kept saying, whenever we asked, they said, oh, they were cousins sometime, but nobody knows. I said, come on now. and you ain't telling me somebody knows. Somebody has to know. And I noticed when I went through it and I talked to people, nobody, even in my grandmother's side, but my father and his brothers and sisters, that side of the family didn't want to hear how they were related, because Uncle Clarence there ain't no media, and they were sort of related, and that person
They didn't want to be
said,
exposed.
well,
like the lady
whatever.
said
I
today.
said, guys,
Yeah,
listen,
they were cousins.
yeah,
They
my
wanted to be exposed.
my
Yeah.
grandmother Sarah was really not born through the some white man down the street
Yeah.
is her father.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when
That's
Is
all
that
they
a Dobson?
said.
Is he a
Huh?
Dobson? Is he a
The
Dobson?
Dyson.
Is he a Dobson?
no, I don't know what this.
Because
white
didn't
man
they
was
say
like.
that's another thing my grandmother told me. The white man Dyson fathered a lot of the children.
Well, the white man died. He wasn't really white. I mean, I don't.
Well,
This white man that lived down the street, Miss Ethel, was doing work and stuff.